So yeah, I really liked night one of SummerSlam. My anticipation wasn't as high for night two, but there were some matches I was definitely looking forward to. So let's get into that. We started off with a match that kind of, I started wondering, why are we starting with this match? It was the number one contenders match for the undisputed WWE Championship, Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. Now, that's a match that had great interest to me because I'm a huge Sami Zayn fan. But I didn't think it had the kind of general interest and pizzazz needed to open up the night like the Liv and Io match opened up night one. But of course, I soon figured out why it was the opener, because we had Nick Aldis come out, introduce, make it a triple threat by throwing in Gunther, and then he said he was going to make it a fatal four-way, and I was like, oh God, not Cody, not Cody, not Cody, not Cody. It wasn't Cody. It was Kevin Owens. The crowd went wild. I went wild. Sami Zayn went wild in a different way. You can see he was like in utter disbelief, in shock. I think Wade Barrett said it's like he has just seen a ghost, because we know the history Sami and KO have together. And of course, we had the face-off. Like, I mean, once Kevin Owens came in, I was like, okay, my prediction is definitely changed. I didn't get this prediction right. I got a lot of my other predictions right, but I didn't get this prediction right. Because how could you? Kevin Owens, as far as I knew, still had a neck injury and still wasn't ready to compete yet. But he came in. Obviously, a lot of the match was him and Sami back and forth. But at one point, Owens tried to do a cannonball, but Sami got his legs up. I think maybe his first one back with a neck injury, because he sold the neck after that. Sami was the only one he would really trust to do that. But no, he's going to go. He's going to go to the wall with everything. Gunther looks strong. Finn Balor looks strong, but. There was some good sequences. A very short match, but it didn't really need to be that long. It was just the sheer shock value of Kevin Owens returning. And of course, Kevin Owens won and is the number one contender for CM Punk's undisputed WWE Championship. Now, if Sami didn't win this match, I had said I was going to be pretty upset because I really want Sami to have that feud with Punk. The only way I'm okay with somebody else winning, especially a swerve person like this, is if that person is a returning Kevin Owens. He's also, I mean, he's not from Montreal, he's from Quebec, so at least he lives in Florida now. Kevin Owens lives in Florida. Sami and his family, well, Sami lives on the road, but his family live in NDG in Montreal, so he's still local, but Kevin Owens is just as local. I mean, he's from here. So I'm okay with that. And more a little bit later on his promo with Punk, but like, I'm definitely looking forward to that feud. And I think Sami's definitely part of it. The fact that they were able to bring Kevin Owens back, it almost justified everything else that happened by having the title match separate with Punk and Cody. And I don't want to say, like, even having, I think Sami's title reign could have still been a bit longer, or maybe they could have put Kevin Owens into the title match and that would have been interesting. But having Sami in this match, it was the perfect storytelling. And I was so relieved when it wasn't Cody. In fact, it was Kevin Owens. So this definitely was a really hot, really exciting, really surprising way to start off night two. I was like, okay, night two, you're starting to cook. Okay, let's see what we got for the rest of the night. And we had the United States Championship match, Trick Williams defending against Baron Corbin. Now, I mean, this was a good match. This is I figured Corbin was going to win. He did win. He won by cheating. It was exciting. Wasn't the most exciting match of SummerSlam or of the night, but it was still good, pretty solid. It looked a little clunky near the end when they had Lil Yachty get involved, and then Lil Yachty ended up going through a table, which made sense, got him out of the way, and he used the championship, hit Trick with his own championship when the ref wasn't looking. 1, 2, 3. New United States champion, Baron Corbin. Solid piece of business. I think maybe they're moving Trick into a different title picture at this point. And I think he's like eclipsed the mid card on SmackDown as much as he can. You got Corbin there. You got a heel U.S. champion. So it's going to be interesting where they're going from there. I've already watched ahead, and it's going to be Carmelo Hayes' next opponent. So he beat Trick again by cheating again on SmackDown. Spoiler alert. But yeah, it was a solid piece of business, and it made sense. And it was a good match, a good follow-up match. Obviously not as wild as the first one, but a good second match. I love the women's ladder match. Actually, correction. I love how the women's ladder match ended and the result. Chelsea Green, the interim WWE Women's Champion. Now, the match itself, I mean, it wasn't the greatest ladder match I've seen. Let's see, we had Tiffany Stratton. We had Chelsea Green, of course. Lash Legend. We had Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. And as expected, Charlotte and Jade sort of canceled each other out. And then in Chelsea, the booking of the end of this match was fantastic. Not all the work in the match, but the booking was fantastic. Chelsea Green, she's like, I'm sorry to Tiffany, and chucks the ladder down. Tiffany falls off. And Chelsea, she's clear. She's going to get it. But then the baddies, Meechin and B-Fab, come down. And I'm like, oh, great. They're going to screw it over. We're not going to get Chelsea as the champion. And they knock off Chelsea. But then all this back and forth, there's like, and everyone's on the ladder. Chelsea, I noticed, is still hanging off the bottom of the ladder, sort of like we found out later she was kind of playing possum. She's just sort of hanging off the ladder by her legs. Not the easiest thing to do, but she's in good shape, what have you. And then all the people fall off the ladder or knocked off the ladder. That part looked a little bit clunky, but then you see Chelsea Green's there. She's the only one left. The camera goes on her face. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's going to happen. She wakes, she opens her eyes, she perks up like the Undertaker. She rises up. She climbs the ladder. The crowd's going wild. The crowd was wanted her before, and now they're cheering even more than Stratton. In Stratton's hometown, they're getting to the top. Crowd's going wild. Ding, 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 and new interim WWE Women's Champion, Chelsea Green. You know what? This was better than I could expect it. Not the match, just the result. The way they teased Chelsea winning, and then eventually Chelsea won. Triple H, you got me, man. Yes, I was so happy with this match. The absolute right choice. And a really exciting match to watch. With the excitement of that, maybe I wasn't as excited for the Human Monies on the pole match. It was still entertaining. Danhausen versus Dominik Mysterio. I love the concept of it. Those monies weren't hanging that high off the ring. It's surprising that it took them so long to get it. But no, I mean, okay, this was good. I liked it. It had all the elements. Had JD interfering. It had the Mini-Hausens taking out JD McDonough. And, of course, that one Mini-Hausen that was actually quite good. It's a triple A wrestler. We had Joe Hendry coming in. And eventually we have Danhausen winning. And everyone celebrating. Now, I love the Mini-Hausens. I love even the Joe Hendry involvement, all this. The only complaint I would have is that we also had of course, the exploding ringside when Dom was there. But the only complaint I would have is that it's getting a little formulaic. Like, what happened to the other side of? I love Danhausen. And do not curse me. I still excellent. I'm so happy you got your Human Monies, and I'm glad I got my brother to spend some of his Human Monies on my Danhausen T-shirt. But with the Judgment Day versus Danhausen, they seem to be going through the same beats. It's similar beats to the one that's Saturday night's main event. We had Joe Hendry. We didn't have Cathausen. I'm waiting for like Miz and Kit Wilson, who are like for him to create his zombie army and stuff. I was thinking, I love Danhausen. I'm just hoping that they don't repeat the same beats again. The last thing you want Danhausen to be is formulaic. You can always bring the Mini-Hausens in, but the other stuff around that, like, just maybe change it up a bit. That's the only thing I'd say, but I still did enjoy this match, though I wasn't as excited for this as I was for the first match, for the women's ladder match. And then for the Intercontinental Championship, the champion Penta defending against Minnesota's own Chad Gable. And you know what? This match, this is classic wrestling storytelling. It was a babyface on babyface match, so there was no like real heat, but it was about Chad Gable finally winning the big one. Could he do, or winning a singles championship? And you know what? He did it in his home state in front of a stadium. They said everyone was behind Chad Gable when he tried to get the Intercontinental title before. Actually, no, in Montreal, the audience I was in when he was fighting against the new champion, Sami Zayn, we were against Gable, and he ended up heel turning. But I'm glad he finally won it here. there was a bit of a, like, the Penta did a Canadian destroyer, or I'm sorry, a Mexican destroyer, but he didn't quite hit it in. That's the reason why Gable was able to kick out, still protects the move. And eventually Gable won by submission. And then there was the happy time with his whole family coming out, his wife, his kids, his parents. Clearly his parents, I was like, wow, the whole Gable family's out there. And then, okay, yes, they had the mug root beer mascot dancing with him at one point. It almost looked like it was going to be a run-in by somebody wearing that. Like, looked like kind of like the gingerbread man was before. Like, I was like, what are they doing with this? But no, it was okay, I guess you kind of got to pay the bills, so fine. But still, it was a good moment. It was obviously technically a very good match. Told a good story. Really solid, really emotional. And I'm just glad that the Gable character is getting this moment. Let's see where he goes from here. But I was definitely happy with this match, the right result, and a solid penultimate match. And then the main event of SummerSlam, of night 2 at least, Roman Reigns defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Okay, I can't really complain about this match. It was well done. It was obviously long, typical Roman Reigns match where he's doing the trash talking. There were spots on the announce table. There was a bit of there was a good character development for Roman at the end when he almost uses the shield chair on Seth, but then he drops it, and instead he just decides to have a fight, and eventually he ends up winning. 1, 2, 3. They shake. It ends the Shield storyline. This was a good match. 2 pros, really well done. Michael Cole's calling it epic and all that. I will be completely honest. I wasn't that into this match. It definitely was not my favorite match of the night, or certainly not of the weekend. There were, the Io and Liv, I think, was a solid match. Brock and Oba finishing, or even the Punk and Cody one with the Orton run in. That would have been a good finisher too. I like Roman. Roman's match against Punk at WrestleMania was the top match of WrestleMania, one of the greatest matches in recent memory. Seth has been in some great matches too, but maybe I'm just not that into the whole Shield storyline. I wasn't watching when the Shield was a big thing. I watched in the Classic era, the Hulkamania era, the Attitude era, sort of dropped out at the brand split, got back in a few years ago. But even though that's the case, like, I still am aware of John Cena, CM Punk, all this stuff, and I'm aware of all the Shield stuff. It just, I don't know. It just seemed like the match was a little too long, and not for me, though it was very well done. So while night 1 of SummerSlam was good and exciting throughout, night 2 had a couple of moments that I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. The Chelsea Green victory and and Kevin Owens coming back and winning. The U.S. title match was solid. It's good. Didn't go too long. Perfectly fine. Human Money's on the pole. Wasn't my favorite Danhausen match. And I like I said, I hope Danhausen's going to go on to other things. But it was still good. It was still fun to watch. The Gable one was solid storytelling, good feel good for the local crowd and for the Gable character. But the last match, the main event, I felt the night kind of petered off. So while I was overall more impressed with night 1, with night 2, there were just a couple of moments that were really, really solid and some of the best of the entire weekend. So that's how I saw night 2 of SummerSlam. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications for all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, wrestling opinion pieces, assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown, and WWE Premium Live Event prediction and review videos. If you haven't already, check out my SummerSlam Night 1 review and other videos. And for the full audio podcast, the link is in the description. Until next time, for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.